Good morning, everybody. My name is Morgan Fix. I am a student at Tarleton State University. My major, my major is animal science. I'm minoring in Spanish, and I'm also participating in the equine science certificate. So my background in horses has been my entire life. I grew up with them. When I was younger, I did halter showmanship, Western pleasure. When I got to middle school, I did jumping and then dressage for English. And then now I work at a kids camp in Granbury called Camp Montessori, where I teach campers how to ride. I've taken multiple classes at Tarleton, and most of my stuff that I've known is from reading over the years, and then some from courses. So today I'll be teaching a little bit about the breeds of horses. We're going to talk about mainly just the most common ones people know, not specifically the more exotic types. This is good information if you are looking to buy, perhaps get into the horse industry, or just a little interested. All right, so the first breed we're going to go over is the quarter horse. Then we'll talk about the thoroughbred, paints, Arabians, and then finally a few breed websites so you can get some more information for yourself. All right, so the first breed is going to be the quarter horse. The quarter horse is an American breed. It's your typical cowboy Western breed of horse. It's about 15 to 16 hands high, roughly. Its weight is somewhere between 800 to 1,100 pounds. It kind of depends on the horse. The colors, it can be absolutely any color. So the background of the breeding has Spanish blood, therefore it can be dun or buckskin. It can also be patched, so like pintos or paints. So the disciplines of quarter horses, they are very calm-natured and very intelligent animals, so they can be pretty much trained for any and everything. Majority, you'll see them in westerns, such as like rodeos, as well as western shows, but you also will see them in the English world, as well as racing. So a little fact about the quarter horse is their name. So they were raced, they got their name from being raced over a quarter mile. If you take a traditional thoroughbred or a racehorse and race them against a quarter horse for a quarter mile, the quarter horse will actually win. They're sprinters, not so much distance runners. All right, so the next breed will be the thoroughbred. So the thoroughbred is an old breed from the European area. They range in height from more about like 16 to 17 hands, and their weight is similar to that of the quarter horse, about 900, 1,100 pounds. However, they're not as muscular. Well, they're very muscular, just not as like built thickly as the quarter horse. As you can see here, it's a lot thinner back here at the back of the barrel of the belly, and then longer neck and much longer legs. So the quarter horse, it's very stocky down here. And lots more packed on muscle, especially right here. This is what they call the gaskin. Well, this one, the legs are much thinner, so it's kind of like a greyhound. Their colors are chestnuts, like this one. It can be black, bay, which is a brown body with black legs, tails, mane, and tips of the ears, or gray. They're disciplined, so they're a little bit more hot-headed than the quarter horse. Of course, there are some exceptions. However, for the most part, they are very energetic, so they're not really used for beginners. So, but they're endurance horses, so they're really good for trail rides, competitions. I've even seen some in the Western world just for barrel racing. And of course, everyone knows them as racehorses. So a little fact about the thoroughbreds is that they are actually one of the base breeds for the quarter horse. That's where they got their speed from. So the quarter horse was like Mustang and thoroughbred, and the thoroughbred actually came from the Arabian, which is what we'll talk about later on. All right, so the paints. This is actually my favorite breed of horses. These are the flashy horses of the horse world. So their height just depends on their breed bloodline background. So they can either be a quarter horse or a thoroughbred. Their weight would be the same. The height and weight would be the same as the quarter horse and thoroughbred. Just depends on the bloodline, like I said. So the paints are known for their patchiness, such as this. So there are 3 different types of patterns. You have the overo, such as this one. That's your very splashy looking. So rules for the overo is that there's white all over the body for the most part, or there can be some less white. However, the white cannot cross across the top of the back or the belly or the front or the back. So it's kind of basically just on the side. The next one is the Tobiano. This is the one that's most commonly seen, or that I've seen. They're more thicker patches, like kind of like when people think of cows, it's kind of the same type. So majority of the characteristics is here. So while the Overo has a white face, not all of them do, but this one does, Tabionas will not. They will look more like solid colored horses, and they will have facial markings such as a star on the forehead or a stripe down the nose or a snip on the nose. They must always have color on their chest, and they call it a shield, and then the white can cross across the back. And then finally you have the Tovero. So this is an example of the Tovero. A Tovero is a combination of the two, of Overo and Tabiano. So here it's got the patchiness of like a Tobiano. However, it does not have the shield like a Overo would. Tabiano would. This one does have a full face. However, there are some, they call it a medicine hat, where it's like a patch on top of the head, where along it here and the ears are colored. So the disciplines of the paint horses are, of course, same as those as the quarter horse and thoroughbred. There are, of course, paint horse races. They're great in the Western world, but they are mostly seen in the show type world because of their color and flash. So this one right here is being showed in halter. Here is the handler all dressed up, and then she is showing off the color and conformation or build of the paint horse. And then finally, so a little fact about them is that paint horses are actually a breed, while pinto horses is a color. So just because a horse has patches does not make it a paint. So yes, while these pictures are showing are used, it's not. I don't know if they're registered specifically. So this may in fact be a pinto, and this will be a paint. It just depends on registration. Okay, so the next breed is the Arabian. So Arabians are come from the Middle Eastern area, of course, Saudi Arabia. They are a little bit smaller, so they're about like from 14 to 15 hands. I have seen some taller ones, but for the most part, they are a little bit shorter than the quarter horse and thoroughbred. Their weight, so they're very fine bones. They're very elegantly built. So they're very light, so they're about 700 to 1,000 pounds, of course, give and take. They're a little bit for their build, so as you can notice right here, this one has a very arch in the neck, and it's carrying its tail head high, the head of its tail high, and then they have a dish in the nose. So kind of like how right here, this like that scoop, they'll kind of have that. Those are big characteristics of the Arabian, and some have even been bred to show the extremes of that. So the colors of the Arabian, the Arabians don't have any Spanish blood at all. So like the thoroughbred, they cannot be buckskin or duns. But they are gray, bay, chestnut like this one, or black, with black being the rarest of them. And the disciplines, so Arabians tend to be even more hot-tempered than that of a thoroughbred, but they are very, very smart. They are endurance horses, so they are used a lot for endurance trail rides. I've seen for that. They're very athletic, very pretty flowy, so I've seen them in the dressage world. I have even seen some in the Western world because they're flash, but traditionally they are endurance, and also there are specific breed type disciplines and shows. So they have a traditional Arabian style garb that they wear for shows and performances. So a fact about the Arabians is that they are the oldest horse breed. So every horse breed has come somehow from the Arabian. So from the Shetland pony, which is kind of about like waist high, up to the Shire, which can be more, be like over about a foot or half a foot over my head, and I'm 5'7", so they're huge. Alrighty, so here are a few breed websites if you'd like some more information. The quarter horse, you can go to www.aqha.com and look on, it's the American Quarter Horse Association. They have registration guidelines, they have shows, and to kind of talk about the breed. If you want more information about the thoroughbred, you can go to www.jockeyclub.com. Here you can more talk about registration stuff and kind of give you some more information about that. For paints, you can go to www.apha.org for the American Paint Horse Association. And for the Arabians, you can go to www.arabianhorses.org. I hope you all enjoy this presentation, And I hope I gave you all some more information on if you're looking to buy a horse, going to get into the horse industry, or just kind of curious about them. Thank you.